Yo, what is up, gamers? It's Sebastian coming to you with a brand new video now. It's time to talk about the new banlist. I know my title is gonna say something like, "This Master Duel Banlist, this amazing, it's great." Yeah, I did a little bit of lying, a little bit of clickbaiting. However, I do think this banlist isn't bad. I think it's a solid 6 or 7 out of 10 if you were to rate banlists. This banlist actually does everything it needed to do, apart from a few misses. So let's quickly go over it. This isn't a live reaction because I've got spoiled everything as soon as I woke up. Like 8 a.m. I woke up, everyone's messaged me new ban list. That's a lie, no one actually talks to me, but I did get spoiled on everything on the ban list. So this is a live reaction. This is more reaction to the reactions that other people had. Because I think people are too negative, people are too quick to try to find any reason to hate on something Konami does. Even if what they're doing is actually the correct thing in the grander scheme. So think about it this way, right? 200th YCS. Utrecht, I forgot what the Latin America and American ones were, but YCS America, YCS Latin America, YCS Europe 200th had about 12,000 people playing simultaneously. Master Duel gets about 80k people playing simultaneously, and this is after the fuse as well. It was originally 120,000 people were playing on the release of Master Duel. That's 10%, man. 10% of the Master Duel player base are TCG players, right? And you can probably assume that it's pretty similar to OCG. Most of the people playing Master Duel aren't the average TCG or OCG player. Just bear that in mind. This makes sense if you consider it from that perspective, right? But anyways, let's get into this ban list. Basically, they didn't ban anything. They limited Ben 10 Conquistador. They semi-limited Dynamite, Second Light, Freezing Destiny, Torn Scale, Fractal, Lao Lao, Cobalt Sparrow, Roxy's, and Analyzer. And they unlimited Red MD. Boom, fastest ban list reading ever. Dab, whatever. Now, several things to talk about. One, can you ban a deck of... Can you kill a deck without banning a card? And if yes, is it better? Yes and yes. Okay, so you can kill a deck without banning a card very easily. Like what they did here. They limited Conquistador. They semi-limited DD Dynamite. Both of these hits do kill their respective decks. Right? A semi-limit to an Eldritch card really hurts their grind. Limiting an Eldritch card, especially one as important as Conquistador, kills it completely, straight out. That deck is effectively dead. However, they don't ban it because they want you to still be able to play it. And let's say you want to play, you want to get Plat 1 with Eldritch. That's still a possibility. But when we get a tournament mode, which I feel like this is the speculation, but considering how much they were hyping up Master Duel Worlds during the trailers, and we're about to get World Season roughly 6 months after release, that would be a good time to start ramping up the sort of content they bring out, because I feel that a slow methodical start at the initial release of the game is correct to try to retain the amount of players that won't keep coming back to it. But now that it's 6 months off the game, and we're getting into World Season, I feel like they're gonna start ramping up, and they might add tournament mode. That's the speculation, but Eldritch, Conquistador getting limited means the deck is able to get Plat 1, but it won't do well in a hypothetical tournament mode. So I think that's a very relevant hit. Same with DD Dynamite. DD Dynamite is just dead completely now. You can't track trick it, you can't land it, they just killed it outright. Good. I saw people saying, what about the Ignite FTK? And what about it, man? Phaler, Ash, Impum, DD Crow, No Material, Droll, Ogre, Nibiru, Ghost Mourner. I can think of infinite hand traps that all literally kill the deck. Wait, that Ignite FTK? Get out of here. Literally irrelevant. Don't even talk to me about Cyberstein, okay? Get out, right? So yeah. They killed the FTKs effectively. Now, let's look at the other hits. Ben 10 to 1. I am of the opinion this kills Drytron. I know people would disagree. I think mathematically Drytron becomes very like significantly weaker with Ben 10 at 1, since it makes it so much harder to play through interaction. You'll find that like a lot of Drytron hands will now end up scooping to an Ash or a Phaler or an Imperm. Especially Imperm, because like nothing really beats that. So Drytron, their ceiling is still practically the same, but their Orange Light will negate less often. Whilst they're comboing, because they only have one Ben 10 now. But also, they just don't have that gas to play through boards anymore. If, for example, you Ash Alpha, it's pretty much like very unlikely that they did hard open the Ben 10, meaning that their plays will be severely limited from that point onward. So I think Limit Ben 10 is very impactful. I know people disagree. I know people got mad at me for saying that, but it's just the fact, it's just true. Literally, I played like Blind Second Sudak with no Dryden. I never cared about Drytron. Right? So, whatever. I don't respect that deck. I'm sorry. But let's look at the other 7 here. We have Second Light, Analyzer, Voxies. These are all hits to Adamantipator. Yeah, I don't know if they do. I don't know if they have the intended effect that's like... I don't know if this will have the intended effect that people would want. But I think it's an interesting approach to hitting Adamantipator. Here's one thing you have to consider. Konami has every single piece of data. Because I know a lot of people are looking at Master Duel Meta, but Master Duel Meta isn't what's like, if you look at like the tier list of Master Duel Meta, that's not actually representative of what's making Plat 1. Because you have so many people that just won't be like, that won't be reporting Master Duel Meta. Also, like, I don't think I've seen a single like Asian player or a single player from Asia or OCG player, I guess, although it's like you can't really make that difference in Master Duel because it's all the same format. But either way, yeah, basically OCG players, I don't think I've seen any of them use the website. So that's like a massive player base that's just been left out of Master Duel Meta statistics, especially when they do build decks differently. So I feel like once you have like the whole data combined, which Konami does have, it probably does make sense in that context. Torn Scales Serenity is probably a preemptive hit if I had to guess more than anything. Same with Fusion Destiny, and this is what I want to talk about. We are about to get Burst of Destiny in like 45 days, 50 days, whatever. If you look here, the extent of limitations take into account new cards that will be added in the future. They're talking about Burst of Destiny, baby. Right, now let's look at the TCG ban list when Burst of Destiny dropped. And now I said this ban list was bad. Everyone got mad at me for saying that. But now the same people are saying this Master Duel ban list is bad. Like, come on, man. Anyways, I was wrong to call this ban list bad. But let's look at what I did. They banned Barrage. Right, this was when Pure Tri was seen play. Like, whether or not you play Tri-Shu, Pure Tri was like 50-50. Tri-Shu was better, but you had a lot of people playing Pure Tri Brigade anyways. This just made it so people only played like Pure Tri Brigade and no one played Tri-Su. And then we had Eva 2-1, which did nothing. We have Meow Mew 2-1, which killed Prank Kids, but like, that was it. We just hear, oh, Tenki's 2-1, like, who cares? Those were the only hits, right? Literally, the only relevant hit was Meow Mew 2-1, and they made it so you can't play Tri-Su, you have to play Pure Tri. This ban list did practically nothing in like, if you just look at it in a vacuum. But if you look at it in the context of Burst of Destiny coming out, it paved the way for an easy, like, for a way for Sword Soul and DPE to easily come into the format. We're gonna get the same thing with Burst of Destiny Master Duel. So you very much have to take into consideration that Burst of Destiny will have a significant impact, and that's why you don't need to actually do much of a ban list to hit this. Now, I know people are like, oh, they didn't ban VFD, they didn't ban Wongomaniad, but honestly, those win conditions, like those decks, don't see that much use on like rated. Maybe they see some playing tournaments, but they don't really see much success overall on rated and in tournaments, etc. And so banning those cards is, I don't know. Like, maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. I don't think it's necessary for, like, a preliminary or whatever the word is, list for Master Duel. That is the very first ban list. They're not gonna go killing 20 different decks. They killed like 2 or 3 decks, depending on how you want to do maths. If you hate maths, they kill 2 decks. If you agree with maths, they killed 3 decks. So I feel like they didn't really need to do more, which is why it's probably fine they didn't ban like these small, like these cards that, whilst they are very toxic, weren't contributing to a deck having a significant success. Now let's look at the other hits I haven't talked about yet. Cobalt Sparrow. Honestly, I'm not too sure on this one. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why they hit Sparrow, like, to be honest, because like that deck didn't seem that good, but bearing in mind, they have much more statistics than we do, so there's probably a good reason for that. Now let's look at Lao Lao. That's your hit to 3FD. Literally any first world name going to 2 kills the deck, by the way. And that's not a meme. If you take a first world name to 2, unless it's one of the traps, you kill the deck. Because that deck will now brick every game. That's not even a joke. This deck is dead. That's 4 decks dead. This banlist killed 4 decks, and you're saying the very first Master Duel banlist should kill like 5? Should kill 6? Now, I do agree, Fractal only getting semi-limited was a miss. I feel like they should have done more, but I feel that a lot of people hate this only because it's semi-limited and not because it just wasn't like a big hit to Tri-Brigade. If you want to like hit Tri-Brigade, or like, if you just want to hit a deck, semi-limited cards are very significant, right? And let's look at Fractal for example. You'll see that card 7% less often if you take into account Tenki as well. If you play 3 Tenki, 3 Fractal, Fractal going to 2 means you see 7% less often. It also means that during a grind game, you'll top deck Fractal much less often. Especially since a lot of Master Duel players are arse. So they'll do stuff like Frac, send Kit, send Nerf out, add Frac, or some shit like that. Right, that's an awful play. Do not Frac, send Kit, okay? Don't do that. But like, because of that, people are gonna like top deck a Tri-Brigade much less often with Fractal to 2. So it kind of comes up, it's kind of relevant. Consistency hits, especially semi-limits to control decks, do matter when you're trying to play a grind game. And so I do think Fractal to 2 does do something. I just don't think Tri-Brigade should have gotten away with this much, right? So I do agree with that. But overall, I think this ban list did what it needed to do as the first ban list for Master Duel. And so overall, I think this ban list is a 6 or 7 out of 10. It definitely isn't bad. I think people saying it's so bad, I think people saying that Master Duel's dead because of this, are severely overreacting. You have to take into consideration the majority of the Master Duel player base don't think like you at all. So, on that note, I'm not even going to talk about Red MD to 3 because who cares? That's going to be it for today. Basically, subscribe if you agree with me, subscribe if you don't. I know a lot of people will hate me, a lot of people get heated, but the point of this video was to get everyone to watch my video when it gets posted in like Drama Center, Zodiac Duelist, all the streams, etc. Like, I know you all will flame me, but that's more interaction for me, so I don't care. Anyway, sub if you like, sub if you don't like if you like if you don't like. And basically, Burst of Destiny is coming out in like 50 days, so the format's going to be completely warped by then anyways. So who fucking cares if Fractal is at 2? I'll see you gamers later. Goodbye.